G'day everyone. Looks like we survived another Saturday. Saturday the 20th of June 2026 is today. My name is George. Let's get on with today's message of hope. I've read a couple in Victoria spent close to 20 years building a 7-Eleven franchise. Put in your comment if there's a 7-Eleven in your neighborhood. I'm interested to find out. Are they just in the inner city or around suburban areas too? Put in a comment there, let me know. Now, when their contract came up for renewal, they were told, no, cannot proceed. Fair enough. So they tried to sell the business themselves, right? They brought forward buyer after buyer. And for some reason, each one was knocked back by the head office. No explanation. It seems to be these buyers were all qualified. It's just that the agreement expired and that's it. So what happens? The store reverted to the company. Yeah, back to corporate. Reportedly around $890,000 of value, just gone. Kaput. Heartbreaking, isn't it? Now, there were no misconduct, no breach. It was just a letter to say, today's the last day. Now, I want to be upfront. I don't have the full picture here. And I don't think anyone watching this most likely don't as well. It's only one side of that story has spoken publicly so far. You can check it out on the YouTube and on the newspaper, of course. Yeah, and fairness means I hold that loosely. Okay, like I said, you got to judge on both sides. But here's something that I think is worth thinking about. I want to say something clearly before I go any further. Now, I'm not telling you to quit your job. That's highly irresponsible, okay? Or that working for someone else is somehow beneath you. Not at all. Not everybody can get into business, right? On the other side of the coin, not everybody wants to work for someone. I understand. Now, plenty of people are well paid and genuinely happy doing exactly that, and good on them for them, because it's not easy to be at work these days. What I do keep coming back to, it's something underneath that. Not who signs your paycheck, but where your heart actually goes. Are you ready? Now, I've worked in IT, mortgage brokering, and in real estate and payday lending companies. All of them are different industries. Yeah, different desks waiting for me. There's the same pattern underneath. That is, I poured real effort and real pride and real hours into the things that were never mine to keep. I don't own a piece of that company. Now, don't think I ask in any of those rooms, what happens to all of that day, the day someone above me decides it's over? Well, I know what happens here. You get retrenched, which is what happened to me. Okay, now here's what Jesus says about that. My interpretation, of course. And you'll find it in Matthew chapter 6, verse 19. Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy and where thieves break in and steal. Now, that verse isn't written about franchise contracts. Nope. It's about hoarding earthly wealth generally, of course. And Jesus is talking to people building bigger barns, not bigger store networks, franchises. But the principle underneath travels further than the original picture, I think. It's not really asking what you own. It's asking where your heart has gone to look for safety, where your treasure is, right? Of course, you might be thinking, fine, but I'm not a franchisee. I don't own a business. This really doesn't apply to me. Well, I'll generally push back on that. After all, the hard investment Jesus is talking about isn't only business, right? It's a job title you've quietly built your identity around. I've seen it a lot. It's a renovation, it's a retirement number you check more than you like to admit. None of those are wrong to want it, right? You worked hard for it. And none of them comes with the guarantee that people above you will honor what it costs you to build them. By the way, if today's episode has put a finger on something for you, that's worth 15 minutes with your Bible this week, just sitting with Matthew 6 before you do anything else with it, I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel, give me a like, and share these videos. Now, for my time working in the pawnbrokering business, of course, there's money laundering involved in selling second-hand items. The business I was in, that I work for, I beg your pardon, a colleague told me once the head office was quietly buying back the independent run stores. Now, his words were that they were dragging down the business names, the independent stores, that is. I wasn't in those meetings. I can't confirm that. But he had no reason to lie to me, and I've never forgotten about it. What I confirm is the 7-Eleven story because it's public, right? It's been verified. 20 years, imagine that. Every buyer rejected. There was no misconduct, no breach. Just gone. Where's the goodwill in that, you might say? So, friend, what are you pouring your heart into right now? I hope your energy and your love is with the heavenly things. The stuff that's worth fighting for, yeah? And believing in. And if somebody else's decision cancel it tomorrow, could be a letter, a phone call, a contract simply not renewed. Would it leave you with regret? I hope not. But with disappointment at how much of yourself you've handed something that was never required to hand anything back. Believe me, heavenly reward doesn't work that way. But it only becomes your most valuable asset if that's generally where your heart goes looking. Not by accident, but it's simply by your choice. Now the franchisee contract is gone. Like I said, $890,000 vanish. Not cheap, right? And wasn't due to any misconduct, any breach. No, simply just a letter, piece of paper telling them you can no longer work there. There's no letter coming for what's stored up in heaven. My friends, where is your heart actually invested? That's the question I want to leave you with. And that's today's message of hope. Thanks for being with me. I have another great one for you tomorrow. Take care. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.